Hi and welcome to the Wilson Chala's YouTube channel. We are dedicated to preserving and sharing Zambia's rich history through topics like culture, politics, finance, and education. From traditional ceremonies to trending stories, parliament proceedings, and everyday voices, we bridge Zambia's past to its future. Join us in building a timeless digital archive. And don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and now let us explore the story you have been waiting
leaving
for.
a nation years since the passing of Michael Sampa, the former president
And
of
here
Zambia.
is what happened.
In honor of this remarkable event,
Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is your trusted source for balanced commentary, analysis, documentaries and latest development from Zambia and beyond. In today's video, we'll carefully examine today's topic by separating the facts from opinions, providing context and helping you understand why this story matters. I encourage you to watch until the end because the last section always contains the most important concept that you need to watch. Now let's start the video.
I hope you found some time to rest.
Awe, not tush. This is now 01.
Pitana. From the time we met in the morning, I haven't had any rest. I hope to rest after this program.
You have to. Seizures.
Yeah, but doctor, we have a nation to rescue. Yeah. Now, welcome to today's program. There was good response to yesterday's program, and I'm glad that you helped me in your analysis. Today,
Thank you so
we are reviewing all the newspapers that are ready as at today. Which newspapers are ready today? So we have the Daily Nation. It is carrying voters' cards on sale, and there are various reports. Again, they are quoting the authoritative institution, Transparency International Zambia. The Times of Zambia is leading with FRA has begun to buy maize. Of course, this should be good news to our farmers, but Brian Munduvile and his team have said if the farmers can just wait just another 2 weeks, they can get a better price than what government is giving them. Obviously, for government, this is a campaign issue for both sides. And we'll take time, Doc, to analyze this editorial. It's our opinion. News diggers have a right to support whoever they wish to support, but they've taken sides. They are supporting President Hakainde Hichilema. And this editorial, PF, NRPUP, are one and the same. It's a clique of thieves, and they should never return. That's what News Diggers is saying. You callers, I'll invite you also to comment about this, but Dr. Brian Sampa and myself will delve into particular details regarding this issue. And the other newspapers that are ready is News Diggers. They are quoting President Hakainde Hichilema at a rally in Mumbwa yesterday, where he alleges that NRPUP will bring back pangas. These are normal scare tactics in elections, where you depict your opponent as dark as possible, despite the promise for free, fair, and clean elections. Then we have Real Times. This is a newspaper run by a former Times of Zambia reporter. He's been consistently running this paper, and they are quoting the ex-mayor of Livingstone, Muleabai. She's been accused of supporting the independent candidate, and she's saying, no, I've got nothing to do with it. And strangely, no newspaper has reported about the detention and transfer of Yui Mwala, who's the former, just the preceding police commissioner, Copperbelt Provincial Commander, or Copperbelt Provincial Police Commissioner, who is being investigated. There's no news from the Zambia police, and no newspaper has dared touch this matter. Probably they.
When you look at what the government is doing, it is an admission that they are not popular. And this admission Now they have gone into this overdrive of trying to rig. Now, rigging happens in different ways. They start by, you can do pre-election rigging, or you can do intra-election rigging or post-election rigging. So when it is pre-election, this is when you start doing certain things like what they are doing, buying voters cards, giving people
Hi
money.
guys,
and then
sorry, we
if
just
it is
have to pause
intra-election,
this video.
during
According
election,
to the
like what
new
we saw in
YouTube policy,
2021,
we
where
just
there was
have to
certain
leave a
places
significant
having
commentary
police.
in
There
the
was a
video.
that surfaced
So
where
if
people were
you
marking
enjoy
the
this
vote,
video, please
the
remember to
ballots
subscribe,
under trees.
like
That was
and share
intra-election.
with your
And then
friends
post-election
and
is where we try to
families.
manipulate the
Turn
outcomes
on
of
the
the election.
notification
Now,
button so
the
that you are
government
able to
is
see
trending on
the
dangerous
video
waters because
always
Zambian
when I
people are not
post.
happy and they are deciding at the
And
moment to bring about change.
don't
So
forget to
when you
watch
start
this video
tampering
up
with
to
their
the
votes,
end
people will
for
feel
you to
oppressed.
enjoy the full
Then
content
it's like you are
of
squeezing them in the corner.
our
Remember that there was
videos.
a report by the United
Leave a
States
positive
under
comment
their
in the
embassy
comment
where they warned
sections.
that
It
there is
helps
likelihood
us
that
to
there may be
improve
unrest
our
in
channel
Zambia during the election
rather
period. They
than
even
bad
warned the US
comments.
citizens to be
This
cautious as they
video
travel
will
to Zambia. Now,
continue
when
very
we
very
see all these
shortly.
things, we need
Stay
to
with
understand that
me.
it's because they have their
Continue
intelligence. And you can
watching
see
your
the
video.
government is trying so hard to suppress the voices of the people, which is very wrong. This suppression, it's also part of the bigger scheme, like what we have seen the president do with. You know, the buying of the voters cards has got nothing different from what the president is doing, where he's giving employment in exchange for people voting for him. So all these are electoral malpractices. Imagine if today it was the Tonsi Alliance, where we heard that someone from the Tonsi Alliance was buying voters cards. As we are talking, ECZ would have swung in and they would have removed that candidate. So indeed, this is a very bad thing, and that needs to be condemned by everyone, meaning Zambians. And Zambians need to open their eyes. This election is crucial, and when that time comes to vote, they need to make sure that they guard the vote, because the government knows that they are going, and then they want to find other means of holding on to power.
Yeah, thank you very much. I got also that clip from social media that expresses the concern that many people have noticed that the pattern has emerged under the president. The president, when he goes one side of the region, he is very conciliatory. He preaches unity. He wants one Zambia, one nation, that the nations should come together. But as soon as he goes to what you would call the Zambezi region, he engages in scare tactics. You know, like he did in Choma, like he did at Land's Corner, like he did in Western Province, like he did in Skongo and Mitete district, where he says, if you vote these people, you'll be beaten every time you go to Lusaka. And that divisive language has gotten a lot of people concerned. Let me see if I have one of the videos where the president was talking about this particular matter.
We've just started working now. We've just started. There's a lot more work to be done. Nyambose Ulia, Kujasef, he needs more schools, more classrooms, more desks, more teachers. Work to be done. Munganduria, he needs more bohos in Chama South. Kabuswoyu, he needs more errors, debt restructuring, the damage in the mines, law and order. Twali wambulaji mwalunga mujoma mwakwela basi weyakulusaka intercity buseruka buyombo oserukira ate basi awakujoma ati bimenyeni batoka kuchoma bimenyeni ati tundumwezi singombe wakabape abantu bali kumwe ati tundumwezi ati mbaba hoserukira ate basi awakujoma ati bimenyeni batoka kuchoma bimenyeni ati tundumwezi singombe wakabape abantu bali kumwe ati tundumwezi ati mbaba hota maningi kuhotela Hakainde amubaome ku intercity sunu yakaba yamwe yakakuba mwaliendela mbomu yanda intercity kunyina omuguma wamuguma ndamwanga banyina bene wabalyawe Zambia
So this divisive talk, I think, is going with the irregularities, many of the irregularities that have been cited. You talked about the issue of that there are party irregularities and post-electoral irregularities, but there are also pre-electoral irregularities. For example, the amendments to the electoral law at short notice, the passing of numerous laws that have impact on the electoral process, such as expanding parliament from 165 to 281 seats without consideration what stakeholders will say. Already we understand they are spending up to $3 million to do agent and ad hoc renovations both at the National Assembly Motel and the National Assembly seating capacity. These have ramifications. Laws like cyber laws have all impacted on the elections before we even go to vote on 13th August. Then the threat of violence by the president, the divisive talk by the president. Just give us those views about that matter.
So, when we talk about this statement the president has been championing of late, he keeps saying Ingwena Ningwena. Now, I want to bring this to your attention, Ambassador. You know, the Bemba chiefdom is associated with a crocodile. We find that is a symbol, even the time that we are having Uksefya Pangwena. Now, just for a second, come to think of it, if somebody came up with a saying that Ingombe Ningombe, because the people associated with Keto are use stuff and then they leave a cape for Tonse. How can somebody really go with a cape for Tonse and leave it there deliberately? Because it's the UPND themselves doing these schemes to try and tarnish the image of other people. So again, we have seen the worst kind of politics at the moment where the government is willing to do anything illegal and they will just justify it as imingalato. We never used to see these kind of things.
In your earlier analysis, you've referred to Ingwena Ningwena, which they've been using. And you are very right, it's extremely offensive to the Bemba people. I don't know, the president doesn't want us to discuss tribalism, but he brings tribal politics into everything he says and does. Ingwena is a totem for us. A totem, civics. A totem is a sacred animal or plant or natural object that serves as an object that serves as a spiritual emblem for a group of people or for a clan or for a tribe. For us, the crocodile is enigmatic to us. It's an emblem, it's a totem. And that's why you have a lot of Ngandu, Ngawasanga Ngandu, Ngandwe. These are the same names coming from Ingwena. Ingwena, because, you know, this is where we found when we crossed the Mulandu River all the way from the Congo going to many lands. And we found the crocodile lying just at Mulandu River banks. It was taken as a spiritual signal to the tribe that you've arrived. Stop wandering, make this home. And that is why, like you said, every time there is Uksefya Pangwena, again it's the same thing. Uksefya Pangwena is all about the crocodile, remembering that the crocodile was a symbol that said you now have arrived and you can settle. And in fact, the royal clan, you know, that rules the Bemba, the Bembas comes from that same, you know, totem, the Ngandu clan, you know, the crocodile clan. So it's very symbolistic to the Bembas. And this is, you pick something like this and scandalize it at every rally. And, you know, he says, Ingwena, while he's standing with Mao Sampa and Charity Katongo and other people from the PF. And it's sad for those that were even former ministers. And they are being laughed at. He's not laughing at who. You know, he's laughing at them. Yeah. But the Ingwena, it's like what you have just said. Imagine if anyone in in Munduwile's camp began to use something associated with the cow, because cattle ingombe is associated with the tonga, and you have to be very careful how you use it in politics. So if you pick something and said ingombe ningombe, immediately you will offend not the UPND, but you will offend the entire maybe Tonga, Ila, and other tribes that keep cattle. So the president ought to be very, very sensitive. That is why this video has gone viral of this young lady telling the president to be careful with what he says, because a pattern has emerged and people can see through it. We'll go to the next
accounts, and that they need to also have certain phones, because if they don't have phones, then they're not going to get the notifications. So some farmers are complaining that already where they live, it's very far from those banks, and the banks require you to also have a deposit as soon as you open your account. So the farmers are complaining. They are saying they already don't have a good pricing for their commodity, and now there are all these things that are coming up. They have to use transport. They have to also put some money in the account. They have to open accounts. They have to photocopy things for them to open those accounts, and they have to buy phones for those who don't have. But when you look at all this, the government only added about 7 kwacha, or is it 2 kwacha, to the floor price. So when you look at that amount that was added, it doesn't suffice when you compare with the kind of expenses they're going to incur. Again, this is more political than trying to answer to the cries of the farmers, because we do know that had it not been an election yet, today farmers would have still gone through what they went through last year, where they had to be queuing up, waiting for their monies months after they supplied the FRA. Now, because this year, the government for some reason thinks they can fatten a cow in one night. You can't do it. I keep telling people that this is the same as somebody who has never studied for an exam, and then they are men with an hour in which they need to finish all the topics and go and pass an exam. It doesn't just work. We can learn this from Bwezani. Bwezani, just 3 months before the elections of 2011, he built all the roads we see in Kalingalinga, we go to Chawama, and all those roads surrounding Unza and other township roads. In Matero, he did a lot of roads in 90 days. But during this period, people understood that he could have done it all along, but he waited until it's election time. People don't buy what the government does during the campaign season. Even these additions they are doing, the payments they are making, nobody's counting them. People are looking at what has been done in the past 5 years. That's what matters the most. And the government should not think that Zambians are down. Zambians are very intelligent people. They don't forget. So they have gone through all these problems, and now the president comes, they are going to eat the money. They are going to get the things that they are giving them. But when that day comes, this is what causes a lot of shock. The way Bwezani was so shocked that how can I lose an election when I was doing everything right? Because he did not pay attention to the mood at that time. And we are seeing, unfortunately, the same trend. The president doesn't seem to be in the same country with everybody else. According to him, things are moving so smoothly. But we can see that behind that posture of having confidence, there is fear. We can tell by the way the president is making decisions at the moment. Every day there are new decisions. Contracts are being signed. The president jumping from one place to another, even doing revision rallies. It's the first time it's happening where the president can go to the same place more than 2 times, just because he thinks the more he talks to them, the more they're going to vote for him. But he's so mistaken, because he had the entire time for these 5 years, the president would have gone to the same places more than once if he wanted. And he's the only one who was campaigning anyway. So to do it right now, at this time, even this FRA announcement, which is not even sufficing for the farmers, it doesn't really sit well with most of the farmers we've interacted with. And indeed, that's why people have decided, and they're saying Mundubile has proposed a higher price. Now, there are some people who are saying, hey, he doesn't understand economics. I read some economist ambassador who said he thinks that these opponents are good politically, but not economically. Now, let's be factual here. A president doesn't need to be an economist. A president doesn't need to be an accountant or a lawyer. You just need to be an individual who is a Zambian, who understands how to organize people, because Zambia itself has got people who already know everything in each particular field. We've got economists, we've got lawyers, we've got accountants. The president is not going to be doing those things. The president will merely be coordinating those things. So to come and say, oh, we need an account, that economist was trying to insinuate that the president is an economist, so the economy is supposed to be better than an economist. But when we look at the trend, this economist has shown us actually that he has performed poorly than people who never even did economics. Look at from Mwanawasa, who was a lawyer, and then we came to ECL for 10 years. The kwacha did not depreciate at the rate it depreciated under the economist. The hunger levels that we had then and the hunger levels we've experienced between 2021 and now, it's unprecedented. The load shedding. So all these things are showing that the word economist has got nothing to do with the performance of the president. So we can tell indeed from what is happening in the country that we are failing in so many sectors. And that's the reason why people have decided, and those farmers who may wait, they would want to take that gamble because they are able to see that, of course, if Mundwile comes into office and he gets those maize at that price, let's say it's 500, that's the government getting at that price. Now, people need to understand that even in developed countries, there is cushioning the government does for its citizens. Even in America, we even, if you are suffering, you are struggling, you are even given food vouchers, you are even given shelter. The government is able to provide those things. Even the Zambian government can take certain measures just to cushion its citizens. That is not going to affect the price of mealie meal because the government can buy at 500 and still sell the mealie meal at 120. Because it's the government, they can put certain, incentives, they put some money aside just to cushion that price. So Zambians should not fear that, no, if the government buys it at a higher price, then it is going to be the same with the mini meal, it is going to go up. No. Why is it that even when the government was buying at above 200, still the mini meal prices were still less than 100? It's because in one bag of 50 kg meal, we don't produce
Doctor,
50
not to cut
kg
you short, but
meal.
just to support you. You and I are here in the United States, and there's been a big debate on local TV stations regarding farmers. Remember when the president put up tariffs, and then there were retaliatory tariffs from both Europe and China to counter the tariffs that the president had put up. The first people that suffered were farmers, big commercial farmers that were exporting to China and to Europe. Government has put up a huge bailout for the farmers so that there are no losses to the farmer. They've put up even market intervention mechanism, meaning that the government is buying the soya and other products that were being exported to China, because it has been a government policy that has made the farmer, suffer this loss of market because China then, imposed retaliatory tariffs and began to buy elsewhere. But the farmer was never left stranded. So I just wanted to support your position. That government,
you are very right, Ambassador.
If, for example, they buy the 50 kg bag at 500 kwacha, President Hakainde Hichilema is promising at 347 kwacha, not very different from what it was last year. There's a fear, like, they said, the economists who said, but how will you deal with the price of mealie meal? It's very easy. How has the president dealt with the price of fuel from escalating? He has removed the taxes on imported fuel. There is, customs duty, that's something like 25%. There is VAT on fuel, that's about like 16%. Government has intervened by removing all those taxes, and the price of fuel at the moment is artificial because government has removed VAT, which is 16%, custom duty, and even some sales tax have also been removed from the fuel, so that government can sell the fuel at a reflective lower prices. Government can intervene in the market, as shown by these two examples. Continue. Sorry,
you
I
are
just
very
had to
right,
intervene.
Ambassador. You are very right, Ambassador. In fact, that brings to light the fact that if the government, for instance, buys the mealie or the maize at 500, and the government puts in those measures they are going to ensure that still the meal meal will be cheaper. We saw what used to happen under the PF, where the fuel prices were maintained below 20 because the government had put subsidies. That is possible. The government can do the same. What these guys came and do when they came is that they just came and removed the subsidies. They let the fuel prices skyrocket, but they are forgetting one thing, that when you increase the cost of production, that is exactly what raises the prices of the commodities. So if the cost of production is lowered, then we are going to see that even the prices of the meal and other commodities will go down. It's no wonder that everyone is asking that what kind of economy are we bragging about, that we have made it, when in the actual sense, things have gotten even worse. The prices are the prices of commodities are so high in Zambia. People are going through terrible situations in terms of hunger, and the socioeconomic status of most of the people has gone low. When you look at all those parameters, and yet the government keeps bragging that they have changed things from 2021, you tend to wonder, are they talking about changing their pockets, or are they talking about changing the livelihoods of the Zambian people? Because it is not an argument to make that they haven't improved their pockets from the time that they came into government. I can give you examples. We've got the former Minister of Mines. Take the photo of him from 2021 and look at his photo today. You can tell that the minister is now looking round, he's gained. You see most of the ministers, when you look at the way they were looking, even when you look at the former Minister of Information, the way he was looking in 2021 and now he's looking now, people are even becoming lighter, more smooth, because now they are becoming, you can see that they are eating well, they are living well, and they are living sedentary lifestyle. So this is the thing that we need to be careful about. When you are a leader, don't define the state of affairs using your home style state of affairs. If at home things have improved, don't generalize it to say that everyone else is doing better. I was talking to a certain gentleman yesterday who at one time was maintaining the roads, some township roads in Lusaka. He said from 2022, the cadres just came from UPND and said, hey, we are taking over these contracts. They took over the contracts. They accused him that he was PF. But from the time they took over those contracts, they have never done anything on the roads. And then, guess what? That guy had a lot of employees. So those employees are already out of business. They don't work. Even him, he was complaining that now he can't afford to make any money, because even the businesses that he has, he can't make money the way he used to before 2021. And yet we've got people bragging. Sometimes we wonder, these economists, when they come on board and start praising the government, the micro, the macro, it keeps me thinking. It reminds me of a time when I was in 5th year. Ambassador, I want to tell you one funny example. When I was in 5th year, we had a patient in the hospital who came, and then our consultant told the patient that you are doing very well. But this patient was limping. So the patient started arguing with the consultant, and we were students. We laughed a lot, We couldn't laugh directly, but we looked down, all of us, and started laughing because they started arguing. The patient was saying, I'm not feeling well. Look at the way I'm walking. And meanwhile, the consultant kept saying, you are doing very fine. We kept laughing. But who is supposed to know who is better? Is it you or the person who you are treating who is supposed to say, yes, I now feel better? That's why we ask patients, how are you feeling? When you give them medication, when they come for review, you ask them certain questions, and then you do your physical exam. You prove that, yes, this person is indeed doing fine. You can't start arguing with the person whether they are feeling fine or not, because there are certain subjective feelings. There are certain subjective, signs or symptoms. The symptoms, you can't see them. The signs, you can see them. So for the symptoms, you ask them, and then the patient will tell you. Exactly the same. This government should be able to ask the people, how are they doing? And it's the people who are supposed to give them the feedback.
That's a very good analogy, Doctor. Because on one side, President Hakainde Hichilema is saying, look, the economy is doing very well. I've built up reserves up to $6.5 billion. The exchange rate has stabilized. The inflation rate is now a single digit. And it's the same story. Bill Clinton, questioned in the campaign in 1992, it's the economy stupid, because Americans were complaining. Yet the government was saying, no, the economy is doing so well. We've never had such a number of good employment statistics. We've never done so well in terms of debt. But it's who feels it. Like the decision, like the analogy you've given between the doctor and the patient. Who should we listen to, or who should be
As we
given
conclude
priority?
today's
The
discussion,
consultant
remember
insisting,
that every
according to
major
Sharon
story
Carter, the
has
patient
different
was fine.
perspectives,
The patient
and
insisting, "I'm not
understanding
well."
those
This is a story of
perspectives
Zambians.
helps
They don't
us
relate
become
to
better
these
informed
good things
citizens.
that the government is
The
saying
purpose of this
they have
channel
done. They
is
can't
not
see them.
only to report
And
or
so
comment
they
on
are asking, it's
events,
the economy.
but
It's true.
always to
Like Bill
educate
Clinton
and
asked.
encourage respectful discussions and
Yeah, and
promote
you see,
critical thinking
this
based
government
on
has made
public
it very difficult
available
to be believed,
information.
because
Whether you
I'll
agree
give you
or
another
disagree
example,
with today's
Ambassador.
topic,
Just
we
recently,
encourage you to
the
express
government
your
produced
views
statistics
respectively
in terms of
in the comment
languages
sections.
and how
Health
popularity
debate
had
is
changed
part
in
of
certain languages.
democracy,
And there was
provided
a
it
statistic
remains
that really touched me
respectful
when they
and
said
constructive.
now
If
the
you learned
number 2
something
most
new
spoken
today,
Afrikaans
please
language
support
was
the channel
Tonga.
by liking
Then
this
the number 1
video,
was Bemba, then
subscribe,
Tonga,
and turn
then
on
Nyanja.
notifications.
So
You can
again,
also
when
explore
we came,
our
some people
playlists
called me and
featuring
were asking,
Zambian
like, these statistics,
documentaries,
they are
parliament
not different
highlights,
from the
trending
statistics that we are
stories,
seeing about the
educational
economy. Because
content, and more.
about the economy,
Thank
the
you
government
for
keeps saying the
spending
economy is
your
doing
time
fine,
with us
and the
today.
numbers
Until
are
next
pointing
time,
to
stay
something else.
informed,
When you
stay
look at also that
respectful,
statistic they gave,
and
it
remember,
was similar.
knowledge
When you look
is
at
most
how popular
powerful
something is
when it
becoming,
is
it will also
shared
translate on the
responsibly.
ground.
God
But
bless you, God
what is the
bless
sample size
Zambia,
we are using?
and I
Are
will
we
see you in
asking,
the next
where are we
video.
getting these figures from? So we have got a country